Hey everybody, welcome to episode 40 of the Return Policy, and today I am doing a mini review on a variety of thumb grip accessories such as these here or these here for the Joy-Cons on your Nintendo Switch. So if you can't tell already, I'm kind of a fan of accessories for the Nintendo Switch, or technically accessories for all sorts of things, and I can't help but impulse purchase and try things out. And in this case, I wanted to find out these thumb grip accessories for my Joy-Cons on a Nintendo Switch. And thanks to also some suggestions from commenters that I picked up these guys here, the KontrolFreek Turbos, as well as I impulse got these, the Hyperkin Silicone thumb grips. And at the same time, I also want to try some existing thumb grips that I already have for my Joy-Cons and kind of do kind of like a battle for each of these and see which one is good, better, best, or if they're all good, or if they're all worth returning. Okay, without further delay, let's go ahead and check out the thumb grips I'm doing for this mini review. So like I mentioned before, I'm a sucker for impulse purchasing a lot of accessories for the Nintendo Switch, so I wanted to pick up these KontrolFreek Turbo Performance Thumbsticks for the Joy-Cons, and then followed by the Hyperkin Silicone thumb grips, also for the Switch Joy-Cons. And I wanted to use something that I've already had, which was for the PDP Armor Guards. And finally, ones that I've also had from a previous review as well, the RDS Go Play Traveler Pack. So those were the thumb grips that had come with that pack. And so I wanted to use all four of these as a means to compare and play with and do some kind of a review for all four of them. So first up for sure is the KontrolFreek Turbo Performance Thumbsticks. Again, I want to say thanks to the comment that recommended me to pick them up, and so why not? I picked them up. Got them at Amazon. I believe these were for $14.99. Might be a little bit more expensive. I might have gotten in sale, but definitely more than $10. And so right off the bat, you can kind of get a feel of how actually good and kind of the actual feel of the rubber is very high quality. They actually protrude out from the Joy-Con themselves once you plug them in, and afterwards just they kind of stick out as well from the Joy-Cons. And also, just as I mentioned, once you play with them, you really do kind of get that extra kind of that good grip when you're moving around and playing a game. So if you have them on the left Joy-Con, they're not too bad. You just kind of click them in. Same for the right. But since the buttons, the kind of the faux D-pad buttons are on the bottom, your thumbs, in my case, my big old hands, they kind of move just fine. The range of motion is a lot better. The grip is a lot better. And for me, when I was using it on the right side, even though it fits the same way, feels the same way, the thumbstick itself was below the buttons, and so even though you kind of get that extra range of motion, I kind of felt like my thumb was getting a little bit more in the way when I was trying to press any of the face buttons. So when I was trying to press the X or the Y, B, the plus, I noticed if I was trying to use anything for kind of a first-person shooter or even just camera control with that right stick button, and that was even though it's a little bit taller and it adds a little bit more length and range of motion, kind of felt like it was getting in the way a bit while I was playing the game. But other than that, I didn't have any real issues kind of navigating, moving things around. It's more just kind of preference. Hey, if your hands aren't as ginormous as mine, you can definitely get the most added value using the KontrolFreek thumbsticks. And for its price, it was actually, it's really good. I have no complaints about it. If you're willing to dedicate playing a lot of the games that you do on the Joy-Cons, which I have, I kind of really like the use of the Joy-Cons. Even after owning the Pro controllers, I still like, just using the Joy-Cons with the right accessories to, compensate for the smaller width and the thickness of the Joy-Cons and getting a little bit more out of it. So the next one I wanted to do a review on and just kind of compare is the Hyperkin Silicone thumb grips. And so these guys actually go for a much more value priced at about $6.99 from Amazon. US dollars, of course. And it not only comes with 8 separate thumb grips, but varying sizes and actual little grips on the thumb grips themselves. And so, all in all, you get 2 or 4 regular size thumb grips with small little dimples, minor dimples on 2 sets of them. And on the other 4, you get regular size and extra tall ones with a lot of dimples on them, so it gives you that added grip. And the tall ones, yeah, they are quite tall. They protrude quite a bit, definitely more than the KontrolFreek thumbsticks. But there is a lot of value in its variety, and I like how it gave you just a nice bunch of them to play with. But hey, you might be thinking, I only got 1 set of Joy-Cons. What do I need, 6 more of these for? I don't blame you, but you never know. As time goes by, you might be like one of the many folks that invest in multiple pairs of Joy-Cons. And before you know it, you'll have a use for an extra set of these grips. Or hey, a friend or a family member has their Switch and you want to, kind of donate an extra free pair of these grips that you have. And that'll be just fine. And for the price, for $6.99, I think it's actually a pretty good value. The quality, overall quality itself, doesn't really come anywhere near the tactile feel of the KontrolFreeks, but for what I'm playing with them and what I can get out of it, and just the overall utility, they work really good. I had no real complaints. Spending this much and getting this many thumb grips for your Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. And so I just wanted to play a quick game just to actually test something out with the Hyperkin thumb grips. So I was messing around with the Binding of Isaac for Nintendo Switch, and I thought, what if I use one of the super tall thumb grips on the left side, since that's most of my mobility, and I use the shorter of the thumb grips on the right side, since that's going to be mostly for shooting. And before I knew it, it worked just fine. Having the range of motion on the left side with just a little bit shorter but a nice grip on the right side for shooting and whatnot. And this might not work just for Binding of Isaac. Say you just want to use the right side just for the camera, but the left side is mostly for, your main movements. And I thought this was kind of fun, since it gives you definitely the choice to use the more grippier ones or less grippier ones, the taller ones or the shorter ones. You definitely have that choice when you pick the Hyperkin. Okay, so the next one is the definitely one of my personal favorites from the good old PDP Joy-Con armor guards. And so you may have already noticed a few reviews and even plenty of different videos that I've made. I still kept on to these more than a year now, and I love the feel of the Joy-Con guards that comes with, and I like these little thumb grips that it came with as well too. As far as price though, I believe they're $9.99 now, but it's only for 1 pair, whereas back then a year ago I paid about $14.99, and it came with 2 pairs. But for $9.99, or hopefully cheaper now, still a decent it's still a decent pick. It's still one of my favorites. I do still love the kind of the grip of these armor guards, and so since they're just plastic shells, you get the most out of it as best you can. But I really do like the way these feel. They're still one of my favorites. But compared to the other ones that I'm reviewing, I don't know. Those other ones definitely give you a run for their money. Or at least in this case, it gives you a run for its money for the PDP thumb grips. But I still like this one. It's still a solid choice. And if you went with this one, you still get both the armor guards themselves for the Joy-Cons and these snazzy, not so thick, but not as grippy as the other ones, but a decent feel for the thumb grips themselves. And just to mess around, since I'm using the Joy-Con separately without the charging grip, I just wanted to kind of showcase the armor guards in use and play a little bit of a Monster Hunter Double Cross. Just a demo, but hopefully when Generations Ultimate comes out, I'll probably Gotta decide if I want to pick that up as well too. But definitely wanted to test out using the armor guards as well as the thumb grips. And here we have the thumb grips that were actually included with the RDS branded Go Play Traveler Pack that I did a review not too long ago, but I did a review on that giant pack. It went for, I believe, $39.99, and the price is way up there, of course, but since it gave you a bunch of accessories, I was kind of surprised by how much I actually enjoyed using the kind of felt like a throwaway set of thumb grips that they included just to add some value to the Go Play Traveler Pack. But I was definitely surprised and kind of impressed by how good these felt. They're not too thick, definitely thicker than the ones that came with the PDP armor guards, but definitely kind of thinner, or not as thick as the KontrolFreek or even the taller Hyperkin thumb grips. But the grips can get a little bit slippery. It's natural. It probably just dries off. It doesn't get too dirty, anything like that. And of course, there's a little bit of trick. You kind of have to like twist them on rather than kind of peel them onto the thumb grip. So if you do have a little bit of trouble, like I was in this little video, you just kind of have to get it on one good edge and then kind of twist it on. But other than that, I actually really did enjoy using these. I kind of use them with in combination with the PDP armor guards, with different cases, grip cases, and they work great. I did like this one, but this really is just the accessory to add to the larger group of accessories that comes with the Go Play Traveler Pack. And that one had its own set of grip cases and I think cartridge holders, as well as came with other stuff, but definitely enough to try and justify the $40 price tag that it was trying to charge you for. So all in all, I kind of thought that all of the thumb grips that I was trying out are pretty decent. Some more than others, but also at the same time, the price differences on each of these thumb grips vary. And so as far as like a verdict goes, they're all really good ones. Some are technically keep its, and some are technically, if you can afford the better ones, some are return its. But since they kind of are working on different levels, I think they're all really good. And so definitely these KontrolFreeks technically have like the best feel, and especially a really good range of motion. But at the same time, you're really paying a premium price for it. You know, for in this case, these red and blue ones, the $16.99 that I paid for. But at the same time, if you want something a little bit more cost friendly, but also a decent variety pack of the Hyperkins, I actually thought these were pretty well made, and you can probably beat them up over time, but at the same time they do give you 8. And so if you're probably like the growing number of other folks picking up multiple sets of Joy-Cons, having 6 more of these thumb grip accessories you can throw on there is actually possibly a good solution to having so many of these in the Hyperkin pack. So all in all, I really did like the vast majority of them, especially even the RDS ones that came with the Go Play Traveler Pack that I did on a previous review. I've been using these for the longest time, and messing around with the other ones, I noticed, it's all personal preference, whichever fits best. And if you like ones that are kind of really thick, like these they include on the Hyperkin, or even on the KontrolFreeks, it's all personal preference. For me personally, if I have had to pick, in the end, the ones I did like as far as value, practicality, and just overall, just kind of comfort, I do like the Hyperkin pack, and I think the Hyperkin would be my first as a keep it, closely followed by the KontrolFreeks, also a keep it. The ones that came with the PDP armor, which I like, is a third keep it, since it comes with the thumb grips as well as the casing for the back of your Joy-Cons as well. And lastly, even though the RDS Go Play Traveler Pack is quite expensive, but it also comes with all those different accessories. If you're in the market to get a lot more accessories, not just for the thumb grips, the the thumb grips that come with the RDS Go Play Travel Pack is also a good buy. So as far as the tiers, I kind of like the Hyperkin, the KontrolFreeks, the PDP, and finally the RDS. All are good, but that's just kind of how I wanted to put mine in a list type of form. Anyways, that's it for me. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch my mini review on all these little thumb grip accessories for your Joy-Cons. And if in any way you thought these were informative or kind of helpful for narrowing down any choices, go ahead and hit that like button. If you already have a decent set of thumb grips or you actually prefer the Pro Controller instead, that's cool. Go ahead and hit that dislike button. I'm fine with that. And still, if you thought this review was informative, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I still plan on sticking around for that semi-long run to create as many as I could and buying as many of these accessories for the Nintendo Switch or even other things to review. I'm hoping to stick around for as long as I can. Other than that, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.